Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So for today's video I'm going to be testing the Collection Lasting Perfection Weightless Foundation. This is what the product looks like. It comes in a tube and you get the standard 30ml in here. Now this is a new foundation to the Collection Lasting Perfection range. They have their concealers, which are like really famous and they're really good. And then they've also got, I'm not sure how long they've had it now, but in the glass bottle, the Collection Lasting Perfection, I think it's called Ultimate Wear Foundation. And that's meant to be quite a mattifying, I'm not sure if it's full coverage or like high medium because I haven't actually tried it. But I think it was geared more towards oily skin, so I haven't tried that because I've got quite normal to dry skin. But when I saw online recently that they brought out this one, which is kind of the sister to the other foundation, I thought this one sounded more maybe geared towards my type of skin because it doesn't say anything about no oil, mattifying, like any of that sort of thing. It says flawless weightless coverage, lasts up to 16 hours and minimises imperfections. Now this foundation comes in 10 shades, which isn't that fantastic considering lots of other drugstore foundations are now coming out with much larger shade ranges than that. Now I got the shade Cool Ivory, which is the lightest shade, number 1. There was also a Warm Ivory, which was obviously more of a yellowy tone, but that looked like it was going to be a bit too dark for me, so I went with the coolest shade. If I just shake it up like it says on the instructions and have a look. Oh, so it's like a squeeze tube that you get it in, which is quite good for travelling and stuff. And I'll just squirt a little bit onto the back of my hand and see if the shade looks good. Alright, so there's the shade on my hand. As you can see, it looks quite pink. It looks a tiny bit darker than my skin, but hopefully I will be able to get away with that shade. So I'm going to apply the foundation to my face and check in at various points throughout the day to see whether this is a long-lasting foundation like it claims to be. I'm not going to test it for the full 16 hours because who has a foundation on for 16 hours? But I'll try and keep it on as long as I can to see how it wears. So for reference, I've primed the left-hand side of my face with the Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer, which looks like this. This is my favourite primer, so I use it under most of my foundations, so hopefully it'll match well with this and like won't make it go weird. But just in case, this side, the right-hand side, is unprimed, so we can see the difference if there's any difference in the wear time. I'm going to shake the product up as it says to do on the instructions, and then I'm going to squirt a bit onto the back of my hand. I'm not sure how much to use because I'm used to using a pump and then I'll usually use 2 pumps, but I've squirted out what looks like kind of 2 pumps and see how I go. So I'm just going to like dot this on my face as I usually would a foundation. Now I like to sort of smear the foundation on my face with my fingers and then go in with my sponge and blend it in. So that's what I'm going to do. My mirror's down here. So, right. So blending that in. It seems to blend in quite easy. I don't have to like really work it in. And we're going to do some on the other side. Blend this in. Oh, I should have put my hair back. Just put these in now. Oh my. Right, so I've almost used up what I had on my hand, and the foundation at the minute to me looks kind of like a light coverage foundation. I kind of like my foundations to be medium coverage, so I'm gonna shake it up and go in with another layer on both sides to see if I can build it a little bit. I kind of expected this to be a bit more light coverage because I think the other Lasting Perfection foundation, as I said earlier, is more sort of mattifying and a more heavy coverage foundation. So I didn't expect this to be as heavy coverage. It seems to be building well. It's not going cakey or refusing to sit on top of the first layer that I put on. Now I'm going to put a bit more on the other side. Right, so that's the foundation all applied now, and sort of looking in the mirror, I'm really quite liking the finish of it. It's kind of, I'd say, a light to medium coverage. Like putting on the second layer did build it up a tiny bit, but not a lot, because I've got a few breakouts down here on my chin, and you can kind of see them peeking through a tiny bit. It hasn't fully covered that. The finish of it, it looks matte to me. I thought it was going to be quite maybe illuminating or dewy, but yeah, I'd say maybe not matte, but it's like a semi-matte finish. It's not, I have this like dry patch in between my forehead, and it's not overemphasizing that, so I'm pleased with that. It looks nice in my nostrils, around my nostrils, because that's where foundations usually sink in and look a bit gross on me. So far I'm quite liking this foundation. The only thing is, for me, I think the shade is a little bit off, because if you look at my face, my neck, it looks, I'm not necessarily sure if it's either a tiny bit too dark or it's because it's pink and my neck is quite neutral. So there's that, but I'll zoom in so you can see. So this is how the foundation is looking on my skin. As you can see, my freckles are still poking through. You can still see the breakouts that I've got. So it's quite a light to medium coverage foundation, but it's not settling really in any dry, that's the dry patch I've got. It's like eczema. It's not overemphasizing it. So I'm gonna finish up with the rest of my makeup, see how other products layer on top, and tell you how that goes. Hey, so I'm back and I've finished the rest of my makeup, and everything seemed to go on top of the foundation fine, didn't have any problems. I used the Collection Lasting Perfection concealer as well, because that's like meant to go with the foundation, and yeah, that went on nice as well. Oh, and also I forgot to say, when I was first applying the foundation, there wasn't any difference in how it applied with the non-primed and the primed side. So, and to be honest, the finish of it doesn't look any different at this point on either side. So the ordinary primer, I'd say, goes quite well with this foundation. Yeah, so I'll be back in a couple of hours to update you guys with how this foundation's wearing. Hi everyone, so I'm back and it's been about 3 hours since I first applied the foundation. At this point I don't really have anything really to say about it. It's not really changed since I first applied it. It hasn't like caked or settled into any lines or anything like that. But I'll zoom in anyway so you can kind of see how it's looking. Yeah, so like I said, it's quite a light to medium coverage. You can see the breakouts I've got. But yeah, no change in the wear of the foundation as of yet. Hi everyone, it's now been about 7 hours since I first applied the foundation. This is probably going to be my last check-in time because I'm relying on natural lighting and it's going to be getting dark soon. So I can't really keep on for much longer and film it. It's wore really well in them 7 hours. Like, I can tell that it lives up to the claims that it's like a long wearing foundation. So I'll zoom in right now. To be honest, not much has changed even since I applied it. The only thing I'd say is where it was quite matte, now sort of over the nose and across the cheeks, it's not gone oily, but it's not really matte anymore. It's more like satin, but I'm not really complaining about that. The only complaint I've really, well, it's not even really a complaint, the only thing that's really changed is I went out for a walk and it's sunny outside, so I was wearing sunglasses, and you can kind of see the little dent marks where the sunglasses were. But honestly, like, every foundation does that to me, and this I'm really impressed with. Like, I've never had a foundation sort of not rub off that much sort of thing. Like, it's only very minimal. Like, sometimes I'm literally left with like massive holes in the sides of my nose where it's completely gone, but this is pretty decent, I'd say. And speaking of wearing sunglasses because it was sunny outside, that's another thing I forgot to mention. This foundation doesn't have any SPF in it, so that's another thing to bear in mind. If you want to wear SPF, then you're going to have to put it on underneath the foundation. But yeah, it depends what you want, because sometimes a lot of people prefer it without SPF, so then it doesn't cause any flashback in photography and things like that. So my overall thoughts are, this is a really great long-lasting foundation that's also really reasonably priced, because I think it's about £4.99 in Superdrug and in Boots in the UK. And I'd say it lives up to the claims of being quite a weightless coverage as well, because as I said, it's kind of light medium, it's not heavy, not full at all. And I agree with the claim that it lasts a long time. I can't say it lasts 16 hours because I haven't tried that, but like, this will last you through a day of wearing it. The only downsides I can really see to this foundation is if you have sort of acne or problematic skin, this probably isn't going to be the best for you, because it doesn't have the coverage to cover it up that well, I don't think. And also the shade range on this, there's only 10 shades and they don't go dark at all. So if you have dark skin, like, it sucks that you probably can't even wear this foundation, and I wish that Collection would come out with more so everybody could try it for themselves. So that's the end of this review and demo for this new Collection Lasting Perfection foundation. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video and found it informative if you're thinking about maybe purchasing the foundation. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up, maybe comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video.